Welcome to the Revo Report. We're inspiring faith with reason and reason with faith. Okay, clearly this person is defensive. Clearly this is emotional. What do you do in the moment?
Well, I am not a counselor, so I don't have a ton of experience that I can draw from, other than to say that you always affirm what you can affirm in a conversation with an unbeliever, and you do call it out as being evil, and this is not the way it should be, and that it is something you should be disturbed by, profoundly disturbed by, and that God was so disturbed by the evil in this world that he sent his son to endure the most profound and intense evil on our behalf so we wouldn't have to. And so God is not a stranger to evil. His son suffered the profound price, and God sent his son to do it. That's how much he loved us, is to take away that pain for us so that we wouldn't have to go through it.
Amen. Amen. And just last question before I ask, what else is going on in all your other contacts, as you reflect on your journey and where God has taken you from unbelief to belief to music to being a defender of the faith. What's one piece of advice you would give to, a young Christian who might be going, why did God create me? What does God want me to do? Does he want me to do music, or does he want me to do coding? Does he want me to do this and that? Does he want me to go into ministry, apologetics, science, what have you?
Well, my advice is based on my experience. I grew up thinking I was going to be a professional musician. That's what my passion was, and that it was a calling, and because it was a calling, that would define my life. That's what I was going to do. That's what I was made to do. And it's not true. It didn't work that way. For some people it might. But what made it difficult for me when the opportunities in the music business went away is to have an understanding of calling if that wasn't it. And so I came to understand that callings can only be for seasons sometimes. And my identity is not in the calling, it's in the caller. And that I need to be adaptable to that, because my calling, the way I understand it, is where my passion and my talent and my opportunities intersect. And if any one of those things goes away, then there's another calling that is getting teed up. And you need to be able to recognize it and follow God's leading in it, and not idolatrize, any one particular calling so that you miss it. I had my identity as a professional musician was an idol to me, and the only way I could recognize that is if it got taken away from me. And so I'm a much better person for having not ended up with success in the music business, because that's what that's my understanding right now of how God used that period in my life. Not all, just because I had a certain success for a certain bit of time did not mean that had to be sustained. But the idolatry of it made me feel obliged to it. And that made my reliance on the wrong thing. So don't make that mistake.
Wow. That's brilliant, because I think a lot of people get caught there, especially when you're younger. And we can sometimes associate and idolize our profession, right? What we do.
Yeah.
And now we're not really focused on what he has done. And you're absolutely right. I think that's something that a lot of people can get caught in. How were you able to kind of break free from that and recognize, oh, wow, I'm actually idolizing this thing that...
With great difficulty over long periods of time and many bitter remarks. It was a hard reentry. But as a Christian, there was only one place to take that. And so, the person I was confused with was God. So he had to be the one to bring the answer. In this case, when the opportunities dried up for me, I kept banging my head against the door trying to make things happen because this was my calling, and yet nothing happened. And in the middle of that is when I had an offer to come into one of the publishers here in town. Nashville's a big publishing company, city, a book publisher, and show them the class in apologetics that I was teaching at a local church to see if they could publish it as curriculum. And I did, and they liked it enough to say, well, except we don't start with curriculum. We got to start with a book. So we want you to write a book. So I ended up getting my first book deal without any proposal or without any agent or anything like that. It was God brought that at the exact time when I was at my lowest point musically and realizing that the opportunities were gone. And so I was able to throw myself with all my effort into that without subdividing it, with music, my headspace with music or anything like that. So as one thing ended, a new season started. And that one is still going as well. And you held the proof in your hand because that was the book I wrote. But although it used to have a different cover and it used to be big enough to where you could see the words without a magnifying glass, and used to be called something different.
Yeah, they have the new title for it, right? Than the older title. Yeah. Wow, that's quite an inspiring story, especially that thank you for being vulnerable in your openness to share that, because a lot of people will kind of just push what they want, right? I think in even 2025, I think a lot of people wrote their checklist. Hey, God, here's my checklist. Why don't you sign off on it, right? As opposed to giving God a blank page and then signing at the bottom and saying, you fill this out. And so it's beautiful how God has filled that out, and he's done so masterfully in your life as a masterpiece, in even how you're telling the stories of the Shroud and the adventures of where it was and how everything played out. I can imagine it in my mind kind of playing out. So now as we kind of wrap things up, where can people find your resources? I know we had the website up there, but any other socials that you want to share, or any other upcoming projects that you'd like people to know about?
Well, DougPowell.com has all the social information. There's a separate site for all the novels, which is GrahamElliottSeries.com, but you can find that through the DougPowell.com and the like I said, the social all there. So, and where I'm going to be with the Shroud, there's not a ton of events, but what I am doing will be there. And let's see, anything else? I think I'm good right now. That's quite enough.
Nice, man. This is a great talk. I really appreciate you sharing this. I was at the edge of my seats for a lot of it, and thank you again. I hope we can have another chat some other time.
I'd love it.
But this was fantastic. So thank you so much. I'm going to close off the chat, and then I think we'll be able to just kind of chat privately here, just for a quick little bit. So yeah, thank you again, Doug. God bless you and your ministry. I'm praying that we would see a movie, the Shroud of Turin movie. That would be exciting, especially in this day and age where, the technology is available even in laptops now to make really good. And if that is in the works, that is exciting. So that's going to be something that I'm praying for, that God would do a work in.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, Doug, have a great day.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the Revo Report. We're inspiring faith with reason and reason with faith.